Sim boards his flight. So as you know, me and Sim go head to head in predicting Premier League outcomes. Scores on the doors are 314 to 344. 5 points for a completely correct scoreline, 1 point for correct result. Starman, once you pick that man, you can't pick them again for the rest of the season. 5 points for a goal, 2 points for an assist. There was a game in midweek that we're going to quickly review, which was Newcastle 5, Crystal Palace 0. Sim went for 2-1 to Palace. I went for 2-1 to Newcastle. That is some hell of a muddy prediction, Sim. 2-1 to Crystal Palace. Eberechi Eze with one of the worst penalties I've pretty much ever seen in this game. Some brilliant goals there from Newcastle as well. And Newcastle scored, I think, 9 goals in the last 2 games. This team are absolutely flying, aren't they? And I think Crystal Palace have conceded a hell of a lot in their last 2 as well.
Yeah, 4-0 at half-time, wasn't it? So
yeah.
Fair play to Newcastle. They're really taking the Champions League fight by storm. And I know Palace didn't have the best game last week against City as well, although they were 2-0 up, playing quite well. But to get battered 5-0 like this is still very impressive. A Newcastle team, I think, still missing Gordon. Barnes has stepped up last couple of games. But
I think Gordon came on, didn't he? Gordon came on.
But when is people going to start giving Murphy his props? Because he just keeps doing it. Like, at some point, you just got to say, maybe he's just not a bad winger. Maybe he's actually quite good. Because
that goal as well, Sim. That goal. Oh, my God. He actually meant it as well. It wasn't like Tonali that didn't mean it. He actually meant it.
Yeah, and I got to give Murphy credit because I think last couple of years, he's been fairly consistent. Not like, maybe this is currently his best season probably, but like, whenever called upon, he does a good job. And he got another goal yesterday. Ever since Gordon's been injured, he's just stepped in and done well. He's been very relied upon. I think credit to him and credit for Eddie Howe for getting the best out of him because I don't know if he'd be playing this well for other teams, or maybe he is a decent player. So credit to Murphy.
Well, let's move on to our predictions. Now I'm 31 points ahead going into not many weeks left, Sim. You've got to pick up these points. You've got to pick up these points. It's a massive week for you now. Every game week is like a cup final for you now, Sim. As we move on to Brentford against Brighton first up. Sim's gone for 3-1 to Brentford. I've gone for 2-2 to Brighton. And we're going to get a guest prediction this week as well from Brian. So what are you going for?
Well, we've got Brentford, Brighton. I do love my Thomas Frank there at home. 2-1 Brentford.
All right. So why 3-1 Brentford, Sim?
I just think the way Brentford set up is pretty perfect for playing this Brighton team. I'm pretty sure they have a pretty good record against Brighton as well. So I just get the feeling that Brighton, last few games have really dropped off as well. I think Brentford are going to be waiting for them. They're going to know how to set up against them. So I've gone for Brentford to take all 3 points in.
Yeah, I feel like this one could be a bit of an end-to-end game. You know, the last 2 games that these 2 teams have played have been 0-0. How mad is that? I thought it would have been a high-scoring game, but I think it'll be back to a high-scoring one. Yeah, I just couldn't split them. Brighton, obviously, wheels have fallen off a little bit the last couple of weeks. Brentford, you never really know what you're going to get with Brentford, so it's a very hard one to predict. So I just went for 2-2. I think goals are in the offing for sure. Next up, Palace against Bournemouth. We've both gone for 2-1 to Palace. Brian?
3-1 Bournemouth.
3-1 Bournemouth.
3-1 Bournemouth.
Bournemouth got back to winning ways last weekend. Still not a great performance, in my opinion. Crystal Palace have taken 2 batterings in the last 2 games, and I think in front of their home fans, they're going to want a massive response, and I think you'll see it against a Bournemouth side just not playing well at the moment. So I think that Palace will win the game by 2-1.
Yeah, I think, I agree. Palace are going to want to basically get over the last 2 games where they've been battered. I don't think they're going to allow that to happen in this game. I think, whereas Bournemouth rely a bit on chaos, I think Palace are a bit more structured in how they play, and I think that's going to benefit in this game. They've still got great players like Eze and Sarr and Mateta, who haven't been good over the last couple of games, so I think they can turn on this one.
Everton, Man City, we've both gone for 1-1. This is not what you want, Sim. You don't want these same scorelines. Brian, what are you going for?
Do you know what? If I remember correctly, Everton seem to do well against the big teams at home.
Yep.
Last time, this will be they're entering their final month, like in Goodison.
Yeah.
I'm going to go for a sneaky 2-1 Everton win.
Ooh, 2-1 to Everton.
2-1 Everton win.
Yeah, I just feel like at Goodison, they're just such a hard nut to crack against even the best sides. They can, sit deep, stay compact, soak up the pressure. And I feel like it's going to be a similar one here. So I've gone for 1-1.
Yeah, I was undecided whether to go 1-0 Everton or 1-1. I don't see Man City winning this one. I think it's going to be very difficult to break Everton down. We saw Everton get a really great result away at Forest last week, and I'm sure they're going to take that form into this game as well. At Goodison, it's going to be great. But I just went for Man City with my moves to get a goal, so 1-1.
West Ham against Southampton. Sim's gone for 3-0. I've gone for 3-1, both in the favour of West Ham. What are you going for?
Yeah, I can't see it. You can't see anything other than the West Ham win. It's really a case of how many, isn't it? They held Villa for a long time, and then Villa just took them apart. I'll go 2-0. 2-0 West Ham.
Why 3-0, Sim?
Yeah, I think Potter needs to start implementing his kind of way of playing. He has to try and get it to click at some point. And I've got a feeling Southampton at home is probably no better opponent to try and make it click in this kind of game. I had 3-1 and I changed it last minute to 3-0. So let's hope that change doesn't kill me. But yeah, I've just gone for a kind of comfortable West Ham win.
Yeah, I feel like Southampton can get a goal. They're, fairly good at getting at least one goal in a game. They're not like Leicester, who just barely can hit the back of the net. So I think Southampton are a bit of a different opponent here. But West Ham as well, they just haven't been able to get results. But I think against the poor Southampton side, they'll get the result this time. But I just feel like they'll keep the back door open at least once in the game. So 3-1 to West Ham, in my opinion. Next up is Villa against Newcastle. A really hard game to predict this one. Sim's gone for 2-2. I've gone for 1-1.
I'm going. When you were talking about this, which I can't see Newcastle lose it. I think they are absolutely on fire. I'm going to go 2-1 Newcastle.
Ooh. I feel with this game, I was also thinking of a Newcastle win just because of how well they're playing at the moment. Villa as well, on the back of a hard European night against PSG where they fought so hard in that game. So it does kind of suggest that Newcastle might win, but then you just can't look past that Villa home record. They haven't lost at home since the second game week of the season, which was against Arsenal. They've been so good at home, and I feel that home form will kind of carry them through this game a little bit. So I've gone for 1-1.
Yeah, and I went for 2-2. I think as well, the kind of squad options they got are a bit better than Newcastle. Newcastle just seem to, keep rolling with the punches at the moment, making changes, and it's still working. But I think it's going to be a really good game of football. I think two really good footballing sides. So I've gone for Villa's changes to make an impact. But Newcastle, with the momentum they have at the moment, I think it's going to be an entertaining 2-2 draw.
Fulham against Chelsea in the West London derby. Sim's gone for 1-0 to Fulham. I've gone for 2-1 to Fulham. What are you going for?
Desmond.
Brian's going for 2-2. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to look past a Fulham win in this one, funnily enough, isn't it, Sim?
Yeah, I think I can see it being drab. I can see it being basically Chelsea struggling, I think, in this game. I think I can see them playing similarly to how they played throughout the season, in the last few weeks. So I think Fulham will just basically stay patient, wait for their moment, and they'll pounce. I don't see it being dominant, but I see just a scrappy 1-0 win for Fulham.
Yeah, I mean, I do see it being fairly dominant for Fulham. I think they're playing so well at the moment. They should have got more out of the game away at Bournemouth last weekend. Chelsea are just playing really poorly at the moment. They lost to Legia Warsaw last night, for God's sake. Like, I know they go through in the tie, but how can you lose? I watched Legia in the first leg, and they were literally one of the worst footballing sides I've seen in a very long time play. So I just can't see Chelsea getting anything out of this game, and I think they'll get a goal, but I think it'll be fairly comfortable on the swing of the game. But Ipswich against Arsenal next. Sim's gone for 2-0 to Arsenal. I've gone for 3-1 to Arsenal. What are you going for?
You know what? I'm going to go 1-0.
1-0.
And the only reason I'm going to say 1-0 now is we're all talking about now with these teams that are in the semi-final now, are they of European competitions, are they just to start playing the kids? So is Arteta going to say, right, just play, and Ipswich will see that and want to get the result to try? I mean, it looks like relegation to certainty, but final home games coming up. Yeah, I'm going to go only because I think Arsenal are going to play a heavily weakened team.
Yeah,
a 1-0. If it was midway in the season, it'd be a Arsenal win all day.
Yeah, but I think even Arsenal's weakened scene, like with Ethan Nwaneri or something like that coming in, I still think he's got more than enough quality to hurt this Ipswich side. So I feel like Arsenal will win the game comfortably. I don't think it will be a pretty game, but I think they'll find the goals, and I think some good momentum from that Real Madrid game will see them through this game. What do you reckon, Sim?
Yeah, I think comfortable 2-0 win for Arsenal, clean sheet. I think, I think can't see Ipswich hurting them too much. So I went for 2-0. I think Ipswich, after the last few defeats, I think they know their time's up. So I don't think they'll have enough in them here.
Leicester, Liverpool, both of us going for 2-0 to Liverpool. What are you going for?
4-0 Liverpool.
4-0 Liverpool.
4-0 Liverpool. And, well, you think about it, if Arsenal drop more points, could that be that they only need 2 more wins, don't they? If Arsenal drop points, this could be it, and we'll be giving them a guard of honour the week after. Convincing Liverpool win.
Happily so as well.
Yep.
Happily so. But what do you reckon? Why 2-0, Sim?
I just don't think Liverpool have been that great recently, but I think Leicester are that bad that even with that level of performance, they should have enough to get over the line here and just maybe get a goal and kill the game late on. With Leicester obviously knowing, I think a defeat here relegates them mathematically. So, yeah, I'm going for 2-0.
Yeah, I just don't think Liverpool have been great recently, and I think they'll win the game, and I think they'll be fairly comfortable, but I just can't see them having that landslide victory that that maybe people expect in this game. But yeah, so I've gone for 2-0. Next up, I mean, we do have the Manchester United game. Manchester United against... Who are they playing, Man United? Against Wolves. Wolves.
Yeah.
What are you going for in this game, Sim?
1-0.
1-0. I've gone for 2-0 to Wolves.
2-0 to Wolves?
Yeah. The reason I've gone for 2-0 to Wolves... What are you going for?
It's a tough one. 2-1 Wolves.
2-1 Wolves. The reason I've gone for 2-0 to Wolves is because Ruben Amorim came out last night after the game and says, we're massively prioritising the Europa League now and the kids are going to play the rest of the Premier League games. So...
And Wolves looked sharp, didn't they?
He literally said
that. They looked sharp last week, didn't they?
Yeah. And Wolves are, on a really good run of form. So I just can't see anything but a Wolves win. What do you reckon, Sam?
Yeah, I just went for a 1-0. I think with our Old Trafford, even with a much changed team, I think it'll be very difficult for them to beat Wolves. And I see maybe Wolves dominating, but I can still see Man United just shit house in the draw somehow. I went for
1-0. Tottenham against Forest. Sim's gone for 1-0 to Spurs. I've gone for 1-0 to Forest. Brian, what do you reckon? Forest Spurs?
Oh, mate. I won't even be watching the game. It's my mum's 70th birthday. Let's have a look. Nuno coming back. We're in the semi-final. 1-1. 1-1.
Brian's gone for 1-1.
1-1.
Yeah, I just feel 1-0 to Forest because Spurs, on the back of the heroics of last night, I think we're going to be tired. We're going to make loads of changes. And I think Forest, it's a massive game for them, this, to be honest, in search of top 4. I think they're going to sit compact. I think we're going to find it hard to break them down, and I think they'll find one on the break. What do you reckon, Sim?
I think buoyed by getting through in the Europa League, I don't think there'll maybe be as many changes as people expect. It's an extra day's rest, and I don't think we have a midweek game as well. So I do think there'll be changes, but I don't think it's going to be, all changes from the 11. So I think it'll be, a pretty strong team from Tottenham. Forest haven't been great last couple of weeks. Losing at home to Everton, lost away at Villa, and they didn't really impress in either game. So I've just got a sneaky feeling Tottenham, with a bit of positivity flowing through the camp, going to come away with victory here. So 1-0.
And last but not least, star men. Sim's gone for Mohamed Kudus.
Mohamed Kudus, Southampton. Hopefully he has a big one here.
Yeah, and I've gone for Matthias Cunha. Back in the team. He obviously scored off the bench against Spurs. He'll definitely start this game, in my opinion. And I think against much changed Manchester United team, which I hope for, and which Ruben Amorim said is going to happen, I feel Matthias Cunha will be central to that. He'll definitely get on the score sheet, in my opinion. So I've gone for Cunha. Sim's gone for Kudus. And that is our Premier League predictions. And Sim, have a safe